This is the Cash Considerations podcast with three guys from Pittsburgh, Philly, and Boston talking sports. God help us all. This is the show. Take it away, Dave.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is Wednesday, March 16th. We are here. It is March Madness, and there's so much other stuff going on. So we're going to talk about that. The introduction says there's three guys, here. Today, right now, there's only two. CH is on location, doing his thing. Couldn't make it. We got a screwed up schedule, but thank you guys for joining us and listening to the show, watching the show on the YouTube channel, Cash Considerations Podcast. Me and Neuby are going to hold it down today. Okay. Just today. We got Carl with us as we always do. My name is Dave Sharapan. I'm the Sportsbook Consigliere at Sportsbook Consig. Carl's not here. CH, what's up, CH, on the Twitter? But he's in our minds because, the Patriots, the Red Sox are getting guys. There's all kinds of things happening. But he's not here today. Who is here today, right here, is Dan Alexander. He's at Neuby Talks on the Twitter, the executive producer and obviously the co-host of the show, who's doing a bunch of other things as well. Now a new writer, food entertainment writer on gambling.com, technical director, and now new on-air personality at Wager Talk. All kind of things happening. Neuby, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm staying busy. I'm enjoying it and keeping myself out of trouble. But yeah, with CH broadcasting from his own location, I believe he's like at the Basketball Hall of Fame. I didn't even know that there was like a Basketball Hall of Fame. We'll have to get the full review, but in honor of CH, anytime that there is a mention of like the Sixers or the Sixers song, I will groan and roll my eyes in the same way that our man CH would be doing. But I'm excited, man. It's March Madness week. People can join the March Madness pool. We got the tweet out there. So I'm excited, and the show goes on, man. This is how we do it, baby. We roll and we're ready to go.
That's what we do. And again, we're trying to do the best we can. We got listeners, we got followers, we got the Wizards cutting the stuff up. We got to mention for sure, like you said, we're doing a March Madness pool. Pick a bracket. And like everybody else, we're doing it, and we're doing it. Go on. Neuby, I don't have the actual place where to find it, but
it's if you just go to the easiest way that you're going to be able to find it without me having to give you backslash and HTML. Go to our Twitter at Cash Consid Show.
There you go.
And there's a link there. We're going to pin it to the top of the page as well, so it's easy access. It is free to enter. The winner's going to be having one terrific prize. Check out all of the information in the tweet on the Twitter there at Cash Consid Show. And if you just go to CBS, if you're already on a CBS Sports bracket pool, you can join the show and join the bracket by just searching Cash Consid Show. So same thing as the Twitter handle. We idiot proofed it, Dave. We made it nice. We made it simple. I'm filling out my bracket as we're talking, and it's not looking good. So you're at least going to be able to beat me if you join the bracket pool. So it's going to be fun, though.
It will be fun. And again, if you want a deeper dive into college basketball, go listen to the 8 in the Box podcast. Me and B. Howe got after it. He's got analytics. He's got shot quality indexes. He's got all these other things. He didn't even really have the luck factor, but I mean, you can get that on all these other shows. People are talking about Providence being a lucky team and all that other shit. The deeper dive stuff is there. We're going to address it. And again, we have the contest. So we'll talk about college basketball, but basically the format of the show today is going to be what's dominated the headlines all week is this NFL free agency situation. And seems like somebody goes somewhere every single day. We're obviously going to mention the NBA, because we mention the NBA every week. We play music and we may do a few things there, things happening. And then touch on a college basketball. I don't know if we should shelf Carl's corner yet or not. I don't want Carl to get upset that we
can't go to the corner if Carl isn't here. Carl may actually murder both of us if we do that. So the corner will be off limits for just triumphant.
All right. Nobody puts baby in the corner is a very famous line, and nobody does Carl's corner without Carl being here to deliver the corner. So yes, I think we'll be fine. Maybe passing on that. Then we'll take a minute and we'll get out of here. So, all right, listen, nobody signed yet today. It's Wednesday the 16th. Nobody yet was traded. But since we were together last, okay, let's try to sum it up. This guy, this selfish son of a bitch on Selection Sunday announces to the world, what's his name? Tom Brady.
Oh, we already got the early cash even without CH.
He decides I'm coming back. We knew he was coming back. We knew he was never leaving. He did 41 days. Peralt told me on Bostonian versus the book, he was retired for 41 days. 41 days of picking up and dropping off the kids at school. 41 days of picking up and putting the dishes in the dishwasher and whatever else that he had to do. He said, "The hell with this. I'm going to play football. I don't care if we ain't got no offensive linemen in Tampa. I'll get new ones. I don't care if Godwin is hurt and he's on. I don't care. Gronk, you can go to Buffalo. I don't give a shit. I'm coming back." Comes back. Neuby, were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised that he came back. I think we all knew that Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, a million Super Bowls. See, I still got you, man. That, I don't think I was surprised that he came back. I was surprised that it was so soon. And I was also surprised. I thought the whole retirement thing was a charade so that he could get out of Tampa Bay. I was surprised that he said, "Hey, let's run it back. Let's do this." Because like Dave was kind of alluding to, I mean, that's a bare bones roster right now. Now that he's back, more free agents are going to be coming there, all that good stuff. But I also, I think there is something to the reports of the Arians and Brady friction. I think that there are two guys there with very big personalities, very big ideas of what they think makes the team better. And I think they're a little bit at odds. If I was Arians, I would bow out, not leave the team, but I would give way to letting Brady be more of a field general. I would let Brady be the honorary general manager. I would let him be the honorary coach. Like, just get the fuck out of Tom Brady's way and let him do his work. You know what I mean? I think Arians is hindering that a little bit. I don't know your thoughts.
At least let him go recruit the guys.
Exactly.
Let Tom say, "Hey man, Tampa's nice.
Yeah.
Come hang out at the house. I got a nice pool
Worked
table.
so well when they brought AB to town. That really
yeah,
worked.
right. That one didn't work out. I mean, it worked out well until they made AB have to actually be a part of the game plan and everything else. I mean, when AB came first down, he was living with Tom and they were hanging out. They won a Super Bowl. Then the second year, it's like,
little growing pains there. Now, Dave, before we move on from just the Tampa Bay specific stuff, I think that probably Tom Brady coming back, probably not the big headline, right? The bigger headline is the amount of futures that were placed before Tom Brady came.
Yes.
Because this is a big story. And, we focus on the sports gambling side of things. And with your experience behind the counter, I think you are perfect to ask this question about, at the Westgate, they got hammered double fisted on Tom Brady, or I guess not Tom Brady at that point, Bucks futures. And then the information comes out and there were multiple spots that were hit for max limit bets.
Yep.
And you're not betting those max limit bets, I don't think, on a random Tuesday, a random Sunday, if you don't know something coming on. So just thoughts on that and what it kind of says about the industry, or about maybe potentially the implications of people having information in an industry you want to feel like everybody's on even footing.
You put the prices up on the board. You have people come up to the counter. You require all of their personal information and the cash to make a bet. No one was under duress. Nobody was at gunpoint. You took the bet. You're mad that they might have known. Lower the number. You can't get mad at that. I mean, you can get mad.
Yeah.
But you can't discredit the bet. You can't. Every single bet that comes across, no matter what amount, you have to actually respect and look at, because if a guy's making a $10 bet, he got $8 in his pocket. That's pretty meaningful to him. If a guy wants to bet 10,000 on the Buccaneers to win on a Saturday, the week before free agency, every sort of spidey sense should be tingling. Wait a second. What do you want to bet that for? Wait a second. Hold on. The limit is 5. You want to bet 10? You can bet 5 at that price. You can bet the other 5 at this price. That's what I would have done if that was the limit. You know, I don't know what the limit was. If the limit was 10 and the guy says, what's the limit on Tampa to win the Super Bowl? And you look and you go, we got 50-1. We can take it to win, to lose up to 500,000. All right, I want to bet 10,000. Oh, you give him the limit, and then, or he asks for more, and you say yes and print the ticket, or say okay. That's on you.
Yeah.
That's, you know, I mean, I was in the risk room the night Andrew Luck retired. 2 hours before, somebody showed up to bet 10,000 on the Colts season wins under. And I was just sitting in the risk room.
Situation, maybe not as notable because it's not Tom Brady, but a very similar situation.
Yeah. So we had 9.5 or 10, I believe. This is a couple of years ago, so they were still playing 16 games. A guy shows up and what the Venetian calls. I was in the risk room. So there's a guy here who wants to bet the Colts season wins under. I said, okay, it's 2,000. You can bet it. Well, he wants to bet 10. I said, okay, well, tell him the limit is 2.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, well, yeah, but he said he has a bag here. He wants to bet 10. And I said, I'll be glad to take 2 and move the number, and then he can bet it again. And he goes, well, how about 5? And I said, do you need me to get on the phone? Because if I was there in person, I would have been like, at this point, listen, now you can have 1,000. You want 1,000, or do you want to have nothing?
Yeah.
Because I said the limit was 2. You could have 2. You could bet it multiple times. If we had 10,
my ass chewed out over you just to make you happy.
Yeah, right. Like the limit's 10. I'll let you bet 10. Then I'll let you bet 9. And then I'll let you bet the rest at like 8.5. I mean, I have to move it. The limit's the limit. And he's like, no, fuck it. Never mind. And he left. 2 hours later, Andrew Luck's walking off that field from the preseason game. And they said, he's retired. And I was like, oh,
now it makes sense.
Oh, really? And I wanted to pull the video. I wanted to see who it was who made the bet, but they couldn't remember the time and all this other stuff. And I said, I can find the time. Don't worry about it. So somebody knows something. I say every week, nobody knows shit. All right.
There's instances when
somebody might know something. But at the same point, News, it's March 16th. The Super Bowl ain't till February.
Yeah.
I get to hold the bet. I get to work off of it for 11 months. Mm-hmm. Brady's got to win a division, got to ideally get home field, got to win all the playoff games, and then win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I still got the best of it. It's the book. I still got the best of it. Like, It's okay. You got me on that number. You got me. That's fine. That's the game. That's what we're doing every day. Wow. So, I understand being upset, and I understand having guys write articles to say you were upset. Of course you're upset, but you got me. Now, I'm not going to bitch about paying it. Yeah. When you come in to collect, I'm going to pull you aside and say, how'd you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I can't arrest you. I'm not even looking. I just want to know how you know. Because if you know next time, can you tell me? So I'll move the number down and go bet it somewhere else.
Well, and I think, to kind of wrap it is a lot of the people who listen to this show are industry folks. A lot of the people who listen to this show are recreational bettors just like me. When you hear a story like this, I almost think, as a bettor, and I want to get your opinion, is it more ideal to get the one-time win, I got you, motherfucker, or would it be better if you are a recreational bettor, or even if you're a professional bettor with a little bit more sizable bankroll that's doing this, really trying to make money? I just look at that and I would feel, wouldn't it be more advantageous to say, hey, pull the guy aside and say, you might want to move this number down because I have a feeling that probably Tom Brady isn't going to play. I'll take the limit now, but the reason why is because, like, if you have that good relationship with the person on the other side of the counter, won't that make you as a better look more respected? And that book is going to treat you pretty good, no? Other than just saying, screw you one time, and now guess what? I beat you. Give me my $500,000,
Right. Yeah. Hell yeah, they would. And I mean, the other thing it would do, like that would likely happen, the guy behind the counter ain't going to believe you anyway if he don't know you.
If you pull him aside, he's going to say, you want to bet it? Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, sure.
He'll direct you right to the window.
That's it.
Hey, man, just so you know, I know Brady's coming back. He's going to announce it tomorrow. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You want to bet it? You
Yeah.
can. It's 50 to 1. Well, what's the limit? 10,000? Yeah, you can bet it. You're saying Brady's coming back tomorrow. There's guys that would do that. There's guys that wouldn't listen. Like, I listened to everybody when I was in the book because I didn't know who anybody was.
Yeah.
So you have to listen. Then you get to learn who's full of shit, who's not. And then you get to realize that even the guys you think know shit, nobody knows shit. Guys behind the counter, nobody knows shit. And it's just, I used to call it the bullshit counter because at least when you made a bet, you put the money over the counter. You looked up and you saw a price. We gave you a piece of paper that said this was your bet. And if you won, you came and collected. And if you lost, you didn't.
Yep.
There was no bullshit. Everything else that went on in between, complete bullshit.
Yep.
And so it was crazy. That was, and that wasn't even the biggest story of the week.
Yeah.
Like Russell Wilson went to Denver. Okay. They moved the odds to 15 to 1. They became the second or third choice now behind Buffalo's still the overall favorite to win the Super Bowl, then Kansas City, and then Denver. Do you agree with that move? Is Denver now, because of Russell Wilson, the third choice behind those two monsters to be the AFC champ and the Super Bowl champ?
I mean, I feel like the Broncos, and we kind of touched upon this a little bit last week too, of just, does it make the Broncos better? Sure. But this is just another notch in the long line of Russell Wilson's career of taking decent to under average teams and making them be able to compete. The only thing is he's going to be playing against a much tougher schedule now. That AFC just continues to get better. And if you look at the NFC, you have Tom Brady now, and you have Matt Stafford. Aaron Rodgers. And you already know Aaron Rodgers is probably going to end up choking in the playoffs anyway. So you almost count him out. So I think Russell Wilson, the biggest thing that comes out of that for me is if I'm a Broncos fan, I'm fucking pumped because it's going to be fun to watch the Broncos. It's not like you're going to be having agita because you don't know if it's going to be Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater getting the start. You're going to get to have fun being a fan again. And ultimately that's what it's about. But as far as future bets, honestly, I'm like you, Dave. Like, not one quarterback move makes me want to say, let me give the book, X amount to hold on to for an entire year. It's not the way that I bet. I would rather lose my money on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Wednesday, than my money and then still lose it at the end of the year. That's just it just doesn't work for me. I didn't understand the move. The move that I did understand is when Carson Wentz signs with the Washington Commanders and the number don't move at all. And then if anything, the number moves in the opposite direction. That's the shit that made sense to me, Dave.
Alan Berg, who's now the director of trading at WinBet, used to do the show with me, posted it on Twitter. In case you're wondering what the move is from 50 to 1 to 70 to 1 after the Wentz news. And I retweeted it. And I thought it was so funny because that's the kind of shit we would do in the risk room. But now he has the power to make the final call. So he could actually move it up if he wanted to. But yes, that's the kind of stuff you see. This NFL free agency is crazy.
Well, Dave, and again, before we get rolling on here, you have to be the most excited about any of the NFL free agency, right? I mean, you guys got the guy. We were talking about it might be Wentz, it might be Russell Wilson. Fuck all that shit. We got Mitchie T, baby. Mitch Trubisky's going to the Steelers. I know that the second you heard that news, the only thing that was in your head, we're from
they've done with that great football team. We got Miss Neuby.
I know you gotta be hyped.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic that we can go 500. Like, it is 17 games now, and Tomlin's never gone under 500. And it was funny because we had Chris Mack on the Bostonian versus Book. I said, "What do you think?" He goes, "Let's embrace the suck in Pittsburgh for just 1 year. Let's go 4 and 13 now, and just get a good draft pick and start this shit all over, because that's what needs to be done." He goes, "They brought this guy in and they're selling him that he's mobile, and Ben hasn't been mobile for a decade. They're selling it that Mitch can actually throw the ball downfield, which he can. So all the things that they're saying are legit. But now we got Lamar coming back without the injuries in Baltimore. We got Joe B coming back with the Super Bowl appearance and being that close to actually winning it in the year he had. We got Baker. Oh no, we don't have Baker coming back. It sounds like Baker Mayfield is gone. Sorry, Cleveland fans. People listen to the show in Cleveland. You know I love you. But do you want Deshaun Watson in Cleveland, Neuby, if you're Cleveland? Or do you want Jimmy G? Does Jimmy G fly in Cleveland?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, Dave, and I know, the court litigation is all done. I don't want any part of Deshaun Wilson, because I lived in Philadelphia.
Watson, before the people come at you. Deshaun Watson.
Watson. Russell Wilson, give me Russell Wilson. He doesn't have any
he's on the
sexual
mind.
allegations that I know of.
Right,
But as in the case of Watson, I mean, I was, and I am, an Eagles fan who saw the protests. Every single game you would be walking into that stadium, around the block, it was people protesting. And if you thought that was bad, you ain't seen nothing with this Deshaun Watson stuff, especially if he goes to a market that actually cares about their team, like a Cleveland, or if he is in a notable city like a New York. I mean, the circus that is going to surround that, and arguably rightfully so, the circus that's going to surround that. Yeah. That's going to be a case study looking back, 10, 15 years on Deshaun Watson being, I'll put in air quotes, exonerated, and what followed after that. And, a lot of people thought the second that news came out, Dave, that the trade was going to happen. People are going to be lining up, and still people are trying to purse through this stuff. So I don't know if he's as hot of a commodity as you may think. I think whatever fan base ends up getting them is going to talk themselves into, I'm excited for Watson. How could you not be excited when you think about the upside that he has? He's insanely talented. I think 28 years old, arguably one of the top 3, top 5, definitely, as far as just talent goes and what he's able to do on the football field. I just don't know in this case if I can override what happened off the football field, whether it was proven, whether it wasn't. I think there's just when there's smoke, there's fire, and that's just fire I don't want to be a part of, to be honest with you. And
I agree with you. It's going to be really interesting to see where he ends up. I feel like they're almost artificially creating a market for him.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I completely agree, where they're saying this person interested, now the Falcons are a sleeper team. Whenever any news comes out, I look at that news and I say, who does it benefit? Because that's the only reason you're hearing about it. You know what I mean? You didn't hear anything about any Tom Brady whispers until he said, guess what? I'm out here, because the only people that it benefited were the people who ended up betting it. So whenever the news that comes out, Dave, I always look at that. I raise my eyebrow and I say, who wants this news out here? Because that's probably who put it out.
Right. And nobody wanted the Brady news out. That's true. And it didn't come out.
Always thinking.
I like it. I like it.
Just pretty hair and long hair. You know what I'm saying?
Great drop of the song. Excellent work. Let's transition to basketball.
Gladly.
You were not at the Sixers game against the Nets since the last time we talked. No. We were so hyped here at the Consig house. Kylie, Kelsey, and Kendall Sharapan were not so much Kylie, but the two other ones. We all wore the hats that day. We were excited to watch the Sixers game. Then they played the Nets. And I'll tell you what I saw. I saw James Harden get a little intimidated, and I saw James Harden not want to be there. And he had a bad shooting night, and it just got worse, and it got worse. And then I saw it again the other night against Denver.
Mhm.
Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus Cousins, got in his face and started talking. And James Harden stood there and pretended like he looked like he was cool. He didn't play well after that. And I'm thinking, I'll ask you the question first before I say what I think. But do the Sixers need a little more than James Harden right now?
But the honeymoon is over, that's for sure. And our guy Bama Mafia, he kind of said on Twitter, he said, with this embarrassment with the Nets, and then them going to overtime against the Magic, he was like, you gotta no song this week. So in honor of us missing CH, and I think Bama is right, this week we'll play the Taps for the Sixers. I don't think they're dead quite yet. But the honeymoon, the 5-0 straight up, the 5-0 against the spread with Harden in the lineup has subsided. And I think Sixers fans and NBA fans got their first peek at Harden, the friendly ghost. When the big games come around, Dave, this guy just has a knack. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying this ruins everything. I'm not saying, everything is fallen in history. But Harden looked like Harden in big games at every stop that he's been at.
Damn it.
3 of 17, low, shooting percentage.
He didn't want to go inside either. Like he looked like, legitimately looked like he was intimidated. And I said, oh no.
That's what's worrisome is Sixers fans are going to tell you, oh, don't worry about it. It's all good. It was just one game, but then the game they followed it up and there was an 18-win Magic team that they had to go to overtime against. They have a 12-point, 15-point lead against Denver. Jokic and the Nuggets, they're playing them at home. They end up blowing that in the second. They end up losing the game down the stretch because Embiid was playing, but there wasn't enough elsewhere. And that's my worry moving forward. And it was my worry before I did the 180 and bought myself into the trade here live on the Cash Considerations podcast. The worry I had about Harden was he becomes Harden, the friendly ghost in big games. And we saw that. That's not to say it'll happen in the playoffs, but if it quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, Dave.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say? You want me to come on here with the pom-poms, play the song and go crazy? Hey, I'm a realist, but probably by next week I'll be ready to be playing the song after they get some nice wins.
You know what? I saw it and I kept saying it, and I said it to Gabe and Cam on Sports Grid. The Sixers need an enforcer. They need a guy to do the dirty work.
DeAndre, and it ain't DeAndre.
So not DeAndre. It's so not DeAndre. You can see that. They gave up on him. The Nets did, after the Clippers did, after the Mavericks did, all these places, because it ain't him no more. But it can't be Embiid. It cannot be Embiid. Embiid can't be the guy, ready to give someone an elbow and take a tee or something. You got to have somebody to police that. When somebody, takes or goes after Harden, Harden needs to know, this guy's got my back. There's nobody yet to do it. It's very frustrating. MVP discussion. Okay. We saw those two battle head to head. They are the clear odds-on favorite. Embiid is -130. Jokic is +140. And then Giannis is +950 on FanDuel. The next guy is Ja at 36-1. I give you a free bet. I know you're holding that ticket on JoJo, and I still think that he's going to win it. Are you concerned? And if I give you that free bet, are you betting it on these other guys?
Yeah, I would probably look towards Jokic just for,
Right.
like a little hedge opportunity.
Right.
Not like I need to hedge my $10 bet that I have
Right.
on Joel Embiid.
Right.
But, those head-to-head matchups, so much of any MVP thing, and I say it all the time, and it's why it's a market I don't really bet much, it ends up who has the narrative at the end of the year, right?
Right.
And right after the Nuggets won, the narrative was already being built. He outduels Joel Embiid in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You look at the box score, that wasn't the story, but that's what everybody's talking about. That wins just straight up would have been huge. If the Sixers win that game, it's signed, sealed, delivered. It's over. Joel Embiid is your MVP. I still look at all the numbers, and the only one that Jokic really hasn't beaten, starkly, is that fucking whatever that per thing is that people love, like the minutes per or points added.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, these next level analytics, Jokic hasn't beaten it, but there's never been a center lead the league in scoring like it looks like Embiid has the potential to do since Shaq. And you're telling me if we have this generation Shaq, he doesn't deserve an MVP? And I also think when you're talking narratives, going back to back for an MVP means something. And when you watch Jokic play, yes, he's amazing. Don't get me wrong. He makes all of his teammates better. If Jokic isn't on that Nuggets team, what's their record? All that stuff is fair. But does he deserve to be in that elite class of back-to-back MVPs? Like, that shit means something in the NBA.
Right.
And and I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm trying to be objective in this. And I just don't know if Jokic is doing enough this season with what we're seeing Joel Embiid do this season to merit being a back-to-back champ. But I just don't know if John Morant and the Grizzlies, I don't think there's enough there for him to leapfrog both of these guys. I think it's one of those two guys. I think that head-to-head matchup did a lot to get Jokic a little bit more of a leg to stand on in the argument against him winning MVP over the guy who's leading the league in scoring.
I agree. And that's why I think, like, you might get an argument that Giannis has value, and he does, but that's only if Embiid gets hurt or doesn't continue doing what he's doing. I don't think that even if Milwaukee got the 1 seed, if the Sixers got the 2 seed,
leapfrog all of it.
I don't think he can. And I still think that if Embiid finishes with those numbers, that'll be the narrative, and that'll hopefully get the result.
If he ends up leading the league in scoring and he takes away all the negatives, well, he didn't play enough games last year. He just played in the second game of back-to-back. There's some guards who don't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he went to overtime and he plays in the next game. So
he's in good shape, Noobs, isn't he? He really looks like
he finally is. He stopped drinking pregame Chick-fil-A milkshakes, really committed to getting his body better. And that's why, even if you're just a basketball fan, like, it's hard not to root for Embiid. And I get people who hate him. They think he's a little brash, whatever. I just think he's a great success story of someone who found their talent, who didn't just skirt by on their talent. He's always challenging himself to get better. And he's a perfect story of, like, emigrating to America and making something out of yourself. Now, not every person who comes to America gets to be a 7 feet fucking monster.
No.
Still, I think there's a pretty cool story there with Embiid, and that's why I like him outside of him being a true Philly guy through and through.
All right, so no song. You played Taps, but Taps is not really the Sixers song. That's really the Lakers song.
You're right.
There's not a worse team in basketball right now than the Lakers, okay? I mean, the Trailblazers suck. Who's the worst team in the East? Is it the Knicks? No, I forget who it is, but
they're all jockeying. There's a bunch of dog shit there at the bottom. The Magic, they are in
the Magic. That's right. But the Lakers.
Oh God.
I mean, CH started it. Hashtag anybody but the Nets or the Lakers. He's putting it out there. He's told everybody. He's been doing it for a long time. It's happening right before our eyes. It's reverse jinxing the Nets. The Nets are getting better. They're like Kyrie just put up 60. It's a good thing that, CH isn't here to talk about that, because that was ridiculous. But the dog in KD came out against the Sixers.
Agreed.
JoJo plowed him over, and he got jumped up and got in his face and said, "I'm going to be here all night. You can keep trying that shit." And it was really good, entertaining as hell. I swear. I'm not ready for them to meet in the first round. I don't want to see the Sixers.
I don't want that at all.
Not in the first round.
Yeah, I have a feeling that isn't going to go the way Sixers fans think.
I know it's not.
Those teams meet in the first round.
I can't do it in the first round. It's going to be too much pressure on the Sixers, and the Nets have a reason. I could take them in the second round.
I could live
fine, but I can't take them in the first.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to see the Sixers play the Celtics in the first, because I'm worried about that one too. Like those are the two teams. I'm saying, can we get in Atlanta? Like we owe them
back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like let's maybe get that. Like somehow let another team slide in there that we could beat. Okay, I don't want to play either one of those teams, but the Lakers are in the play-in spot. Okay, 2-8 in their last 10, coming off a loss to the Raptors, 114-103, in which they got 12 points in the first quarter. They were down 33-12 in the first quarter. The game before that, they lost 140-111 at Phoenix, who is the best team in basketball right now. Neuby, are the Lakers going to make not the play-in? Are they going to be one of the 8 in the Western Conference?
I mean, I've been saying this since early in the season. I've been down on them, much to the chagrin of our guy Walsh. I love me some LeBron, and LeBron loves him some LeBron. Doesn't matter if they lose by 30 or not. He's going to let you know, hey, just a kid from Akron, just drop some points, baby. But I've been down on the Lakers. I think, that was something that I said when LeBron went there just to start. Yes, they got their championship. It happened during the bubble. People are still knocking that and whatever, but it's just the Lakers have such a mythos around them that expectations are always going to be sky high, and it's really impossible to meet those expectations. And just heading into this year, this roster, you add Russell Westbrook into the equation. I was down on them since the start. I think maybe they go to the play-in game. Even if they're in the play-in game, Dave, I don't think they win the play-in game. That team needs to change. Bronny needs to come to the league. He needs to go to Cleveland so LeBron can just go back to Cleveland and have the riding off into the sunset. Because the Lakers, it ain't it, Dave.
The Lakers right now would have to play the Clippers in the 8-9 game.
Oh, wow.
Then have to play Minnesota, who they're going to
live rent-free in the Clippers' minds, though. So
and they get a home game that's not really a home game.
Exactly.
Which is bullshit. Like any other team in the 9 would have, they'd have to go on the road. They're not going on the road. So you can see how that'll be twisted. That they fixed it that way so they could stay at home.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Pelicans are coming. Hopefully they'll flip-flop with them. And then I'm rooting for the Lakers to have to play the Timberwolves in the first game and lose, and then we can just be done with the Lakers. I'm done.
I'm exhausted with it. I'm exhausted with it.
They were 7-2, 3.5-1 to win the NBA championship before the season started. They're 60-1 now. They should be 100-1. And if anybody knows any shit and wants to come bet it, just come see me. Yeah. We'll make arrangements.
Don't even bet it at the book. We'll take all Lakers action solely funded by the Cash Considerations podcast.
Hold on. You can't say that shit sometimes. The people are listening. Well, no, we don't want to get in trouble. I don't want anybody thinking
that was a joke.
Bets.
FCC, we were
complete joke.
We're not joking.
The bets.
We're not betting across state lines.
No, none of that shit.
None of that shit. It was all a joke.
It was all a joke.
But you can email me anytime.
Right, I was gonna say email the show. cashconsidershow@gmail.com. We're right, lock and step with the whole thing.
Next week it's gonna be CH doing the show alone because we're in fucking handcuffs.
Right. We're on furlough.
CH goes away 1 week, and Dave and I are on cease and desist gag orders.
Son of a bitch. All right. Before we get to the madness, I wanted to mention the Book and Sports app. If you love the sports bet, listen up. The Book and Sports app is here to help make your sports betting experience a breeze. Whether you're looking to talk shop, purchase picks, or simply need an app to keep track of all of your action, Book and Sports is the app for you. In sports betting, transparency is key. And with the all-new Book and Sports betting score, you can easily separate the contenders from the pretenders. What are you waiting for? Download Book and Sports today for free in the Google Play and Apple App stores, and prove it to your friends why you're the better bettor. So follow Book It with Trent. He actually came up with something on the Surgical Stream the other day, I believe, and hit something, but he's rolling. The Surgical Stream is genius. They're having a good time doing it. It's fun. Go follow him at Book It with Trent on all socials. I also wanted to mention our boy Jeff Dawson, who's out here in Vegas. East Coast Sports Investors. He has the #1 page according to Google. If you look up sports investors, It's www.eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. He's coming up with some March Madness stuff. He's honing up his golf game right now, not playing, actually picking outrights, which he had a great season doing last year. Masters is coming up, so you'll be able to, get involved there if you like to do that. Jeff's it's actually a pretty good, you get the picks via text and email. He said, if you have any questions, ask the real Vegas Dave, not that guy. He said, ask me, fuck that guy. It's Dave Sharapan. No I in team, just win and profit. See you at the hoop where, we're going to go there. We're going to talk about college basketball. I also have a buddy, Neuby, he's really good. He's a writer, Eli Hershkovich. He's at Eli, Hershkovich, Vich.
I'm just glad you can say it. I don't know.
I'm definitely fucking saying it wrong. But search him on the Twitter, and he puts out his columns. He writes for the lines.com now or something. He's got a really good basketball opinion. He had a pretty decent season, but he's got a lot of good insight into this. Between him and Tom Casale, who's now working with NBC Sports, I believe, Edge or something. I can't keep track. Everybody's jumping around.
Everybody's doing stuff.
It's crazy. Yeah. And for a lot of people, they're either getting a big bag and they're good and they got one job, or they're getting sandwich bags and they ain't getting shit and got to have 6 jobs. So you got to work for this company, this company, this company, this company. All good. But those boys are doing a good job. You actually are on the show with us. You produced the show with me and B. Howe, 8 in the Box. People should go listen to that, like I said, for the basketball. But will you fill out a bracket other than the cash considerations bracket contest?
I probably will, just because that's, we do it online through CBS Sports. So again, you can join that, search at Cash Consid Show on Twitter. Got all the information. We have a great prize that we're going to be having for that. So please join, tell your friends. It is free to join, free to be a part of. But I have to do another bracket, Dave, just because I need the paper in my hands, baby. I need the bracket in my hand. So even if I just do one with some buddies, I know my one buddy's grandfather, he loves to pick the Zags every single year. So his bracket's fucking busted. We just do a little $5 pool or whatever, but I like the ease of access, not having to paper grade them, but there's just something about having the bracket in your hand. That's when I know March Madness is here. So I'll be doing our cash considerations one virtually, but I'll also be doing one just with, some buddies or whatever. What about you?
I haven't done a bracket for a couple years. It's just, it just became too much. One, I put too much thought into it because I was actually doing the lines and taking the bets and, being in the room. And then 2, I wanted someone else to run it. I was always the kid that ran it, and I was always, growing up.
Grading them, you're doing it, and then one little grade, and you got everybody chirping at you. You're the worst commissioner in sports. It's brutal.
It's a hard job because it's 3 weeks.
Fucking thankless too.
You got to collect all the money, then you got to run the pool, then you got to, grade everything like you said. So I haven't done it for a while, but I think we're going to do it. We're either going to do I'm not sure yet if it's actually a fundraiser or not for the softball team. They were trying to do that, where half the money goes to the team.
I'd get
half
in
the
on
money
that. I'd fax you something.
I know, right? Exactly. So yeah, now everybody do you have Cash App? Do you have Venmo? I'm like, can you just give me $10?
Yeah.
I don't want to worry about, this app, that app. Just give me money. Nobody uses cash.
That's a good dad move.
That's
fuck your Venmo. I don't want it. Just give me cash, man.
Just give me cash. I want the paper and I want the picks.
Cash still? Might as well write you a check if we're using cash.
Right? Holy shit. I know nobody does that anymore because nobody can write cursive anymore. Yeah. I mean, only people, your age and up can write cursive. I'm not sure the kids know how to even sign their own name right now. I tell them to practice all the time. I'm not sure they can. But so when you look at the bracket, and again, this is more of a global view. Do you see a clear path for one of the top seeds? You had an interesting stat. What is the stat with the seeds that you had? You kind of gave me before the show.
Yeah, so I actually I got this one from Tony Finn over at Wager Talk, and it just kind of, everybody falls in love with the dogs. Everybody, let me get the big payout. Let me get one of the dogs. Well, if you just look at the last 21 national championships, 20 of them, Dave, 20 were won by the number 1, the number 2, or the number 3 seed. And if you go a little bit larger to that view, the top 3 seeds have won 32 of the last 36 NCAA national championships.
Damn.
So if people say, "Oh, such a chalky bracket you have." What you have 4 teams and 3 seeds and lower that are in your final 4. Wow, you really went on a limb there. Well, you don't go out on a limb because it just hasn't been profitable either in pools or if you're betting them straight up. And in the opening round, people start falling in love with these dogs too.
Yep.
Opening round, Dave, the top 3 seeds overall, 432 lifetime in the opening round games. So
400 wins, 32 losses.
Number 1 seeds 143-1 in the opening round. Number 2 seeds 135-9 against 15 seeds. So a little bit more there. And if you're looking for an upset, still not an advantageous position if you're looking for the number 14 seed to upset a 3 seed. That's 122-22. So if my numbers are correct, which they probably aren't knowing me, 432, the top 3 seeds in the opening round. So it pays to eat some chalk, man. It's people say, you chalk eating weasels and whatnot. It's been an advantageous position.
Yeah, I mean, and I used to tell people that all the time in the book because they fall in love with the dog. And it is fun when you pick the 11 seed to beat the 6 seed. Or, you hear the narrative of 12 beats a 5 every year. They do 1, maybe 2, not all 4. It's very difficult. So if you pick all 4 in your bracket and you go 2 and 2 and you're happy with that, that's fine too. Are there any,
Dave, to go back to your original question though, as far as like a clear path, I think there's at least a landmine in all 4 of the divisions. And again,
there is.
You really want a good deep dive. I was writing notes like crazy this morning when recording the 8 in the Box podcast. If you haven't checked that out, it's a Cash Considerations production. It's Dave with Brad Howe. So much information. Brad comes prepared more than anyone I think I've ever seen in my life.
He goes deep.
And angles. I couldn't even write quick enough. Our wizards were like, Neuby, come on, man. You got to. I was like, B-How was dropping too much gold. It was either make my own money or timestamp the show correctly. So I opted for the former rather than the latter. But I think there's at least one landmine in all 4 of these divisions. If you made me pick like a final 4, I would probably say out of the West, Gonzaga. Give me my chalk there. I love the case that B-How was making for Kentucky. It was one that I was going to try and make as well. So I like them out of the East. South, haven't decided. I think it's one of the top 2 seeds in Arizona or Nova. I just think a lot of people are falling in love with Arizona. So I don't know if I want to, I want to completely back them. And in the Midwest, I think I might just pick Providence just so I can hear wise guys and the bad guys bitch about the luck index for another week because these people fucking hate Providence. They're so lucky. I've lost so much money against them all year, so I'm just going to keep motherfucking them. So I think I would embrace Providence in that lower quadrant just for the madness and just for seeing the duct tape shoe guys losing their minds.
I fall for the Kansas every year.
Oh, guys, stay away from the Jayhawk. I fall for the Kentucky every year. I got my Kentucky blue on. I fall for them because they always have the swaggiest guys. You know what I mean? Like they
no
always
doubt.
Sweetest players, and I like Calipari. A lot of people don't. I do.
Yeah. I could see that. I fall for the Kansas run in the tournament. Yeah, they always, and then they lose in the second round. They don't even get to the Sweet 16. Where they go to the Sweet 16 and you're like, okay, yeah, I think they can actually get to the Final Four, and they never do. And I've seen the Kansas fans here for years. They come decked out. They come all ready to go. And you're like, sorry, man. Like you don't even know what to say when they lose on Saturday. They play Thursday. They win. They're so excited. They show up at the book. Big table, drink tickets. We're watching our team. We bet our team. Oh, no, we lost. And they want to go up and sit in the room, and their trip doesn't leave until Monday. It's so brutal. You know how you felt when you were here, after that Eagles game.
You saw I was despondent. You
Believe me,
like that, man.
No,
it was brutal. It was brutal.
Well, the hype and the excitement, you actually get caught up in it. And
the goddamn wall. And
right.
that wall don't hit back. I mean, the wall does hit back. You ain't got nothing to hit after that wall hits you, man. Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. 1 and 2, like so I'll just do it real quick in the West. I mean, Gonzaga's 1, Duke is 2, and who's the 3 there? That is Texas Tech. I actually, if I don't pick Gonzaga, I'd pick Texas Tech there.
Really? You like them?
I do. I like the way they play defense. And I think they wouldn't have to face the Zags until the last step to get to the Final Four. Yeah. So by then, hopefully they could beat them. I'm throwing Duke out, which means they'll probably get to the Final Four, and we can all talk about Coach K for 2 more weeks and all this other shit.
Texas Tech is 9th in that net rank that people like. They also can strength of schedule in that quadrant, 35th best in the nation. So I could see the love you're throwing their way.
Yeah. In the, let's see, below that is the East. Baylor's the 1, Kentucky's the 2, and the 3 is
Purdue, the Boilermakers, who fuck me every year, man. I can't. I have them going all the way to the what do I got them in? I think the Sweet 16, and I know they're gonna screw me. They bust my bracket every single year. Those fucking
every
year. Doesn't matter which quadrant they're in. They're always just giving the middle finger.
Right. They're never in like the Midwest.
No.
They're despite the fact that they're in the Midwest, they never end up in the Midwest bracket, but whether it's Southwest, East, they do screw up brackets a lot. I think out of that, I'm going to go with Kentucky. Yeah.
Buy into the hype. Buy into the hype.
I'm in. I heard what B. Howe was saying. I heard what he was putting down. He was talking about some good stuff that I think applies. Arizona 1, Villanova 2, and Tennessee 3 in the South. Man, that's a hard one.
That's the toughest one. I think
I think that's the toughest overall region.
Agreed.
And Arizona's so big and they are so good, but one off night and they are done.
Agreed.
Nova is so good and so well coached and so smart, and Gillespie's amazing. I mean, I think I'm going to stick with Arizona, though. I want to say Villanova. I think Tennessee's the team that would bust my brackets. I would buy into that bullshit, and they lose in the second round, the SEC champion. I can't pick 2 SEC teams with Kentucky in them, so I can't do it. I'll pick Arizona there. So I got a 1 seed.
Whoever comes out of the South, Dave, I think is in the finals.
Wins it.
I don't know if I'll jump on and say wins it, but they're in the finals for sure. Whoever comes out of that South, I'll put that stamp on them for sure.
In the Midwest, it's Kansas 1, Auburn 2, and
Wisconsin, the Badgers.
No way.
I don't like that.
Way. Yeah. And Iowa's the 5 there. Providence is the 4. This feels like the easiest for the number 1 seed, Kansas.
Agreed.
So I'm going to fall for it again. I'm going to say Kansas gets to the Final Four. So I got Kansas and Arizona, 2 1s, a 2 and a 3. I mean, I'm sure my bracket will be completely busted the fuck up by not the second day, by the second session on Saturday. So we'll be halfway through the day Saturday, and I'll be going, fuck, I can only get 3 of the Final Four. And then most likely, hopefully 3 of the Final Four will get to the Sweet 16. But then after that first day or second day of the Sweet 16, I won't have to look at the bracket anymore other than to see who won our contest, because it won't be me.
Now I'm hoping it gets a little chalky, because there's a bet, and I wanted to throw this your and B Howe's way, but we were a little bit tight on time, so I want to throw it your way, and then we can kind of wrap it here on the March Madness side of things. Again, check out 8 in the Box, a terrific deep dive. You got to check that out wherever you get your podcasts. It'll also be on our YouTube feed that you can like and subscribe. Cash Considerations. There's a bet on DraftKings that is the sum of the final 4 seeds.
Love that bet. Love it.
So the number is 10.5, juiced to the over. So bettors,
Under.
yeah, and the under pays plus 120.
Gotta
So
bet that.
even if you get 3 seeds, okay, then you're 12. You get 3 seeds and a 1 seed. Then you're at 10. You win by the hook. I think the under is the play there, but the betting market clearly thinks there's going to be some big upsets. Do you just think that's people getting excited about March Madness? The madness is incoming, or do you think there's some intrinsic value there on under 10.5? You can bet it on DraftKings.
So we used to make this number, and the guys at the WinBet that are there now, Alan and Mo and Maddie Lindemann, who, by the way, do an opening line feed show thing that's fun. Think about this. If you get 1 seed in, and then you have to get 3 threes, you're still under.
Still under, yeah.
If you get a 1 and a 2, okay, that's not asking much.
Yeah.
That's 3.
Yeah.
Now you have 7. You can have a 3 and a 4 get in, and you're still under.
You get one of those Cinderella stories and your bet's dead. That's probably why you maybe don't go double fisted on this one. But I think, we look at those trends of how well these top seeds have done, and trends are great, and all great plans until you get punched in the face, right? Like Tyson said,
Yeah.
But I just saw that under and saw that it was plus money. And I was just kind of surprised to see that with what I kind of know about the tournament.
Yeah. I like it a lot. I like under a lot.
All right. Well, live on the show, I just bet it.
Okay.
It's done. And that wasn't across state lines. That was me on my own app. No laws broken there, Dave. Betting on my own app.
I love it.
I didn't have anybody else do it for me. I don't play on any NFL team.
Right.
I play flag football, but I'm allowed to bet on sports, even though I play.
That's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, that's a good one. And this will be the year, like the market will tell you to bet it over. Because and the market will move it because this is the most wide open year, right? Like this is what it's been wide open.
They're saying,
there will be. I mean, we got to make sure that. I mean, obviously, if a 7 seed gets there, we're done because then we need 3 1s or we're dead.
Yeah, 5 or lower, we can live.
We can live with a 5.
Chalk.
I'd rather a 4 or less.
Agreed.
Because if we go 4, 3, 2, 1, that's 10.
Providence.
You're under. That would actually be phenomenal if you got Providence to the Final Four. That would actually be fantastic. We should actually bet that to then post when they do, because you'll be the only one in the world that will have Providence to the Final Four.
Yeah, I wonder.
No one thinks they can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure that they have that up there. I'll look at.
Yeah, there's a Final Four bet. There's a Final Four bet. You can find every team to go to the Final Four and odds on that.
I'm scrolling and Providence is down there. I can tell you.
It's way down there.
35 plus 3,500
to get to the Final Four.
360 to get to the Final Four.
Unbelievable. All right. Let's do the quick. So every week we're going to do a movie review. Last week, you laid out the Batman movie, which was actually, it was a good review, but it made me realize it's probably not a movie for me because you said it was a little dark and it was a little hard. So we get an honest review. What, the Neuby Smoky movie review? What are we calling it?
We're going to change the name about 7 times. We got to do it until it feels right. Right.
Yeah.
For now, we'll
the number of wings.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it's not, I didn't get to the theaters this week, but I started watching a new show on Hulu. It's called The Dropout. And I don't know if you guys have a Hulu subscription and you're not watching this show, fucking cancel your subscription because you're wasting your money. This show is a true life story. It stars Amanda Seyfried, who is just incredible. Number one, she's drop dead gorgeous, but she is an incredible actress. She plays Elizabeth Holmes. This is a true story. If you know that name, it might sound familiar. She was the face of a company called Theranos that ended up scamming a lot of money out of people's pockets.
Oh, that was a bad scene.
Really what the story is all about is how feeling like you can change the world quickly turns into how you can just change your pocketbook, and it being all about dollar signs by the end of the day. You have a great idea, but at the end of the day, people want to know how can they make money off of it.
Sounds like a gambling world actually right now in the sports gambling media world. Right
Almost like it's tying right in, Dave. You're not kidding, but this show, just the performance she turns in, she's playing this character, Elizabeth Holmes, from when she's a junior in high school up through when she's reaching her 30s. And she looks like a high schooler. She looks like a 30-year-old, all in the same exact series, just by the way she's changing her hair, how she's changing her mannerisms. This is truly, if you think all Amanda Seyfried can do is be the mean girl in Mean Girls, man, she blew it wide open. The acting performance and the casting performance in The Dropout. I'm only 2 episodes in, Dave, so I can't give the full smoked wing review, but this one is smoking. Through 2 episodes, it's trending towards that coveted 4-wing rating. I can't quite slap it on it yet. Check out The Dropout, and if you're watching it, tweet me at Neuby Talks. Let me know what you're thinking. That is our smoking movie review, and we got The Dropout on Hulu. Highly suggested, Dave. Terrific show.
I love it. All right, excellent. That's a
Boom.
good deep dive into that. Nice work.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we got one more thing to do.
Oh,
That's it.
already?
I mean, yeah, that's
Good
it.
pace of play.
Pace of the show. We're moving right along. It's called Take a Minute, where we basically just take a minute, rant on anything. We've done it in the past, talking about this, talking about that. You go first. CH isn't here, but again, he's Carl Hascall. He's at What's Up CH. He's the coordinating producer, the social media manager, the email guy, cashconsidshow@gmail.com. And obviously, co-host of the show who's not here today, but we usually go to Carl's Corner in this segment. Nobody puts Carl's Corner in the corner without Carl being here. So we're not doing the Carl's Corner. We're going to do Take a Minute. Neuby, the executive producer of the show, obviously the co-host of the show with me. Your Take a Minute segment starts in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, actually, really, really smart job by CH having a segment named after him. That's a sure and way to guarantee job security. I mean, that's genius out of our guy CH.
Yeah.
It was going to be a little bit more of a downer because there was a pretty unfortunate thing that happened in my area. Really sad stuff. A young person ended up losing their life because of something that was crazy avoidable. Instead of bringing you guys down at the end of the episode, I'm going to bring you up. Because for the first time in a few years, Dave, since COVID really all broke out, your city of Las Vegas is going to be fucking booming, man.
Oh my God.
There's so many people flying out there. You know, Wager Talk having a meet and greet on Friday. The boy bands are out, like you were saying. I mean, it is bumping in sunny Las Vegas. And I think this is finally an indicator that we're turning the corner. You know what I mean? Like when we finally were allowed to go places, but you had to be vaccinated, you need to have a mask, like all that shit's starting to melt away. And we're starting to have some sense of normalcy. So for you folks who are out in sunny Las Vegas celebrating what is an incredible week of sports, maybe I might even end up popping out there. Who knows, Dave? Maybe for the second week, we figure something out. God only knows. But all I know is be safe. Enjoy your time there. Fucking tip. This is the first time these places are going to be packed again. Like, take care of your servers. Take care of the people behind the counter. Have an amazing time, but be safe, people. Be smart. And above all, Dave, if you're partying in Vegas for March Madness, don't be an asshole. That's my Take a Minute, and I hope you enjoy the festivities, my man.
Nice. 2 good bang segments right there from you. That was a good 2-team parlay. And listen, we're calling the food and / movie review thing. We're going to incorporate your name into it. So you'll get your own job security.
Genius.
Like.
Job security. That's what you got to do.
Pretty good. So my Take a Minute segment starts right now. It's going to play off of exactly what Neuby said. And I thought of this. I went on Wager Talk on Tuesday with Teddy and Prez, who will be here. And we'll probably hang out and say hello and whatever. And if you're coming out Friday from 2 to 7, stop by and say hello. This is long overdue. 2 years ago, I was in the risk room when they were playing the Big East tournament, and it was Creighton against St. John's. Creighton was trailing at halftime. They never came back out. It was the last team sporting event in the country. They did UFC that weekend, and then everything shut down. They walked into that risk room and said, "You're all gone. Everybody's laid off." And my life changed forever. And now, like, I look back and everything that's happened in that time period, none of it would have happened. None of it. I'm not sure we would have met. I'm not sure CH and I would have met, and you and CH and all of us got together. We're doing the show. And like you said, it's open now. Like, people are coming all over. I picked up Jeff Dawson last night at the airport. There's more people coming today that want to meet on Saturday at this place. And I'm like, guys, I don't know. BTB, Rob beating the bookie. He's coming today. He's in the air. Julian Edlow's coming today. He's in the air. All these people. I'm like, I can't wait to see people in person again and just say hello. I don't care who you like. I don't give a shit what you think about this, that, whatever, that game and all this stuff. I mean, I do. We're going to talk about it. But if you win, I lose, I don't care. If you go over and I go under and you win, I don't care. No, nobody cares about all that shit. I mean, you want to win all your bets, yes. But man, like you said, don't be an asshole. Enjoy the time together. And the boy bands is a true thing. You guys come in packs. I used to do it. There's a lead singer who knows everything. He's the bookie. He's got the bookie's friend. He knows how to get, you got to have game numbers when you go to the window. You got to bring cash. When you come to the window, you got to bet with cash. People that come with credit cards don't come with credit cards. You can open an account and then bet on an app, but you play with cash. So bring the cash. So a lot of little things like that. That's the lead singer's role. Then he's got two boys that go with him everywhere and they hang out, but they're never going to be the lead singer. It's fine. It's good. It's okay. They bring the backup singing and they got the character pizzazz. They just got to ask before they do stuff and they got to make sure. Then there's the roadies who are just along for the ride. They just want to come and have the food and they want to see the clubs and they want to see the girls. They're looking for the nightclub after, and that's fine too. But the whole thing is together and it's fun. And man, I can't wait to see you. But I'm not sure I'm coming down on Thursday and Friday because it's fucking crazy down there. Last thing, Neuby said it, tip everybody. If you ain't sure, tip them. And if you ain't sure how much, leave more than you were thinking the first time. If you were thinking $1, leave $2. If you're thinking $2, leave a fin. I guarantee the world, you think it's opened up and people are just back. If you come back and you tip this week or next week, you will have the best Vegas experience you could possibly have. And if you don't believe that, then nobody knows shit. That is it for the show. All right. Enjoy this week. Enjoy the basketball. Enjoy this NFL free agency. Mitchell Trubisky is my quarterback now. Oh, my God. For Dan Alexander, he's at Neuby Talks on the Twitter. For Carl Hascall, who's not here with us, but is always with us in spirit, he's at What's Up CH. And for myself, Dave Sharapan, I'm at SportsBK Consig. From our family to yours, enjoy March Madness. May your brackets not get busted, at least until Saturday. And then they're all busted. See you guys later. Talk to you next week.